August 30th, 2025. Celebration of Summer Luau. Cara's throwing one final blowout before the summer humidity fizzles out and everyone fakes their readiness to embrace fall. Cara's backyard is a riot of tropical charm and low-key chaos. String lights zigzag overhead like a constellation designed by a tipsy cruise director, while paper lanterns bob gently in the breeze. Cara's inviting a crowd of friends for this final summer blowout. Michelle, Liz, Tanya, Nicole, Christina and Bill, Carla and Brad, Anthony, Lorenzo, Joe, Carole and Tom, Craig and Maria, Kelly, Whitney, Julie, Cris, Susan, and Hillary. It's a gathering as diverse as the playlist, promising laughs, smoldering tensions, and a farewell to summer that's soon not forgotten. Cara is busy setting up the outdoor bar cart, arranging various colorful glasses and bottles neatly. As she works, she hums to herself absent-mindedly, her mind buzzing with last-minute details. Gionni joins her, helping to hang up lights and streamers. They're nearly finished when they hear Michelle's familiar, determined voice announcing her arrival. Michelle appears wearing a lightweight, flowy sundress with a wide-brimmed sun hat, perfect for the hot summer day. She carries a canvas tote, bursting with various snacks, paper towels, and a clipboard, giving off the impression that she's not just a guest, but a self-appointed event coordinator. Cara pops up from the counter, dripping and radiant. "Michelle, you're early!" The two of them air hug and kiss briefly. "Hi, honey," Michelle says, waving. "You know me, always ready to pitch in. What do you need help with before everyone else gets here?" Cara considers for a moment, knowing Michelle's fondness for taking charge. "Well, I was just about to start setting up the drink station. You mind helping me with that?" Michelle's eyes light up at the prospect of organizing and planning. "Of course! I can help you arrange the glasses, ice, and mixers." She reaches in her tote for a brief second. "And I brought some colorful straws and cocktail napkins to make it even more festive." Cara grins, knowing Michelle will likely take the task to another level. Cara and Michelle head over to the drink station, which currently consists of an assortment of liquor bottles, a few bags of ice, and some disposable cups. Michelle wastes no time taking charge. "Okay, I'll start by organizing the bottles by liquor type, from strongest to lightest. It'll make it easier for guests to find what they want." Cara nods, amused by Michelle's immediate take-charge attitude. "However you want to do it is fine with me. Just don't get too carried away with your organizational spree." Michelle chuckles at Cara's friendly jab, but her focus remains steadfast. "Oh, don't worry. I'll keep it tasteful and functional." She begins rearranging the bottles, grouping them neatly, and even making little neat labels for each category. Cara watches her, secretly impressed by Michelle's efficiency. "You really don't mess around, do you?" "You know how I am with organizational tasks. You want everything to be perfect, and I like everything arranged neatly," Michelle nodded, looking down. Cara chuckled softly, knowing Michelle's compulsive need for perfectionism. "That I do, and I appreciate your help, even if it means a perfectly arranged drink station." Michelle looked down, a hint of defensiveness in her expression. "I just want everything to be in its proper place. It's not just about being organized, it's about creating a pleasant environment for everyone." Once they finish setting up the drink station, Cara decides to assign more tasks to Michelle to keep her preoccupied. She glances around the backyard, contemplating what needs attention. "Alright, we've got the drinks sorted. How about we tackle the snack table next? We could use your touch with presentation and organization." Michelle nods, her eyes already scanning the snack area and mentally rearranging the snacks in her head. "Lead the way. I have a few ideas on how to make it visually appealing and functional." While Cara guides Michelle around the yard, assigning her small tasks to pitch in, Gionni and Lorenzo are stationed by the pool, inflating floaties and arranging the pool lights. Meanwhile, Anthony and Joe are lending Gionni a hand by setting the table and placing name cards for the designated seating. Cara calls out to him, "Everything looking good over there?" Gionni glances up, wiping his sweaty brow. "Yeah, we're just about done. The floats are all blown up and the pool looks great with the lights." Michelle nods, her eyes scanning the area for any potential improvements. "Looks nice, but we might want to consider adding some poolside towels for everyone." Cara nodded, taking in Michelle's suggestion. "Good idea. You can head into the pool house and grab some patio furniture. There are towels in the cabinet by the bathroom," Cara called out to her husband. Gionni acknowledged Cara's instructions with a thumbs up. "Got it. I'll finish up here and swing by the pool house to grab the stuff." Michelle turned to Cara again, her mind already spinning with ideas. "Are we planning any games for the guests to play?" Cara nodded. "Yeah, I thought about some classic summer games. We'll have coconut bowling, a water balloon toss, limbo challenge, and a hula hoop toss to keep things amusing." Michelle's face lit up. "Ooh, I can help with setting up the game stations. We can create signs for each game and ensure they're well marked so guests can easily participate." Cara smiled, appreciating Michelle's enthusiasm. That would be great. You have an eye for detail, and your touch will make the game areas look visually appealing. Michelle nodded, her mind already buzzing with ideas. I'll go grab some cardstock, markers, and wooden sign stakes. We can create simple yet attractive signs for each game, making sure everyone knows what activities are available. Okay, thank you. The craft supplies are in the office next to the living room, Cara says. Michelle nodded, already heading towards the office. I'll work on the signs. You keep coordinating everything else, and we'll have this party organized to perfection. She disappeared into the office, leaving Cara with a feeling of satisfaction. Cara knew that with Michelle's attention to detail and her knack for organization, the game stations would look fantastic. With the rest of the guests arriving promptly between 4 to 5:30 p.m., Cara and Michelle were working hard and efficiently to get everything set up before then. As Michelle went into the office to gather supplies, Cara shuffled in the garage looking for hula hoops, coconut props for bowling, empty plastic bottles, a bamboo limbo stick, grass skirts, and water balloons, along with other Luau-themed props they could use for the games. Ahead of time, Cara made sure she was all set for this party. She ordered the props a month before she decided to throw this party. In the office, Michelle found construction paper, cardstock, cardboard, markers, and wooden sign stakes. She grabbed what she needed and put everything into a small wicker basket to take back out to the yard. She closes the office door and makes her way outside. Meanwhile, Gionni and his friends had finished setting up the pool lights and inflatables. Next on his list was making sure the food spread was taken care of by the caterers and chef in the kitchen. He made his way inside, letting the guys know to keep busy. Cara instructed Anthony, Joe, and Lorenzo to help her set up the game stations in the side yard. As Michelle returned to the yard with the craft supplies, she began designing the game stations, creating signs with bold lettering that spelled out each names of each activity: coconut bowling, water balloon toss, limbo challenge, and hula hoop toss. Anthony, Joe, and Lorenzo joined Cara in setting up the game stations, following her lead diligently. The trio helped arrange the coconut bowling pins in a triangular formation, setting up hula hoops for the hula hoop challenge, and marking out the area for the limbo challenge. Soon the side yard looked vibrant and inviting. Anthony and Lorenzo were tasked with setting up the limbo bar to the perfect height while Joe and Cara worked together to arrange the various hula hoops. When they finished, Cara stood back, admiring their handiwork. Looks good, guys. You've done a great job, Cara complimented the group with a proud smile. Anthony beamed at the praise, while Lorenzo and Joe looked pleased with themselves. Michelle called out, her hands covered in markers and colored pencils. Cara, come check out the signs! Cara made her way over to where Michelle was working, curious to see the finished products. Alright, let's see what you've got. Michelle proudly held up the signs, each one carefully crafted with colorful lettering and vibrant backgrounds. Cara examined them, her eyes scanning over the details. These look amazing, Michelle. The colors and font choices really pop. Great job! Michelle beamed with pride at the compliment, her face lighting up with joy. Thank you. I wanted to make sure they were eye-catching and easy to read from a distance. Cara nodded, impressed by the attention to detail. You definitely achieved that. These signs will surely attract guests to the game stations. After the games and pool area were set up, Cara glanced down at her clipboard on the patio table. Alright, we've got the games done, Gianni's checking on the food spread, the pool area is all set, the decorations and lights are done, and now I think all we need to do is set up the dinner table under that tent by the fire pit. Cara placed her hands on her hips and surveyed the yard. She looked over at Michelle, who was setting up the signs by each station. Alright, Aunt, Joe, and Lorenzo, you guys are free to take a break if you'd like. Michelle and I are going to set up the table next. As Cara made her way to the deck, Michelle followed suit. Together they carefully maneuvered the heavy dining table, carrying it between them towards the tented area. With a few grunts and laughs, they placed the table down perfectly under the canopy. Michelle nodded, her hands on her hips. Lead the way! Cara and Michelle stepped into the spacious dining room where a selection of festive table pieces were neatly spread out. The placemats were crafted from woven palm leaves, the colors in various shades of green and yellow. For the centerpieces, Cara had gathered a variety of colorful tropical flowers and placed them in clay pots with seashells scattered around. The overall effect was bright and vibrant, perfectly capturing the essence of a luau theme. Cara grabs a tray from the china cabinet and places everything they needed to set the table with inside. As they're heading back outside, she grabs the note card sitting on a side table. The girls make their way out to the deck and down the steps. They walk over to the table and Cara sets the tray down on an empty chair. Cara places down casual luau spreads with colorful tableware, fruit platters, and grass skirts around the table edges. After setting the table, Cara and Michelle work on seating arrangements next. Michelle grabs a handful of markers and begins writing down everyone's names one by one and crossing them off on Cara's list. The table is a long rectangle with Cara at the head of the right side and Gionni at the head of the left. Everyone else is seated along the sides, alternating couples and singles in the pattern that feels strategic, if not slightly chaotic. We're including taglines for a fun little twist, so let's write the name in black marker, and the tagline could be in any color that fits the party theme, such as orange, red, hot pink, or dark green. Cara nodded, arranging the flowers in the middle. Michelle hummed in agreement as she wrote the names down, her hands steady and precise. I like that idea. It adds a touch of personality and humor to each place setting. Plus, it'll make the table more interesting to look at. Cara placed the last flower in the center of the table, taking a step back to admire the handiwork. She nodded in approval, satisfied with the arrangement of blooms. You're really good at writing neatly and quickly, Cara remarked, glancing over at Michelle's careful penmanship. Cara is sitting at the right head of the table, and her note card reads, Hostess with the mostest, and receipts. Gionni is on the left side of the table with the note card reading, Cara's favorite mistake. On Cara's side, the sequence follows. Michelle, brings wine, leaves drama. Liz, knows the gossip, but won't spill it. Tanya, too honest for her own damn good. Nicole, still mad about last year's Secret Santa. Christina, queen of passive aggression. Bill, just here for the conversation. Carla, thinks she's cool. Isn't. Brad, here for the food and nothing else. On Gianni's side, the sequence follows. Anthony, will flirt with your mom. Lorenzo, brings the playlist, ignores the vibe. Carole, still thinks this is a potluck. Tom, Carole's +1, probably against his will. Craig, talks about golf, trains, and cars, unprompted. Maria, Craig's handler. Kelly, wears white to themed parties. Whitney, knows everyone's secrets, smiles anyways. Julie, has a margarita and a vendetta. Cris, quiet and unclear. Susan, spends too much time worrying about when the night will end. And Hillary, will start a toast, will not end it. Cara surveyed the table, taking in the unique combinations of name cards and their corresponding taglines. A small smile played at the corner of her lips, amused by the accuracy and humor. Looks like we've got quite the mix of personalities here, Cara remarked, turning to Michelle with a grin. You've done an excellent job with the cards, by the way. It adds a personal touch to each place setting. Michelle smiled, clearly pleased with her work. Thanks. Hopefully it'll keep the conversation flowing and add some lighthearted fun to the evening. I hope Christina doesn't start drama with the tagline I gave her. That would really suck, Cara furrowed her brows. Michelle chuckled sympathetically. Yeah, that's always a risk at these events. Hopefully she'll take it in stride. With everything set in place, the time was now 4:15 p.m. and the guests would be arriving any second now. Cara and Michelle were both satisfied with their work and were prepared for the guests to join the party. Gionni, the catering crew, Anthony, and Lorenzo were bringing food to the backyard. They set the appetizers down at the station by tables 4 and 5. Joe is carrying a couple bottles of wine which he sets down on the table under the tent. A DJ was arriving later into the night after the guests arrived. The dance floor was lit up by the pool, giving it a beachy and electric vibe. As the catering team and Gionni made their rounds from the kitchen to the appetizer table, Aunt Joe and Lorenzo were directed to grab some more liquor, coolers, and glasses from the bar in the living room. They were helping Gionni set up the cocktail station by the dinner table. Cara watched as Gionni and the guys tended to the last-minute tasks, preparing for the evening ahead. She turned to Michelle and said, We did it! The backyard looks amazing, and the party is almost ready to start. It's been a lot of work, but I have a good feeling about tonight. Michelle nodded, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Yeah, it does look great. It's always worth the effort when everything comes together like this. Just then, they heard the sound of car doors closing and voices filtering in from the front yard. Cara's eyes widened as she recognized familiar laughs and voices. Looks like the first guests are here. Liz stood in the front doorway of Cara's mansion. She arrived wearing a bright, off-the-shoulder tropical maxi dress and seashell-studded sandals. Her hair was up in a bun held with a decorative chopstick, and she wore gold hoop earrings. She was finishing off a cigarette as she rang the doorbell. She brought a basket filled with mangoes, papayas, and a large bottle of rum. Cara opened the door and was greeted by Liz, who looked radiant in her tropical dress and carrying a basket of colorful fruits and a bottle of rum. Liz! Looking gorgeous as ever! Hey Liz, welcome! Michelle says, giving her a hug. Liz grinned, raising the basket in greeting. Hey Cara, you look absolutely stunning, and I come bearing gifts! Cara chuckled, admiring Liz's basket of goodies. You always know how to make an entrance, don't you? Liz smirked, pushing past Cara playfully to enter the house. I try my best. Gionni, hearing the commotion, stepped into the foyer. Well, well, if it isn't Liz in all her tropical glory. Liz flashed a wide grin at Gianni's remark. What can I say? I live to make an entrance. Gionni chuckled and gave her a friendly hug. We wouldn't expect anything less. What's in the basket? A little bit of everything, Liz replied, holding up the basket. Mangoes, papayas, and something special. Cara peeked into the basket, noticing the bottle of rum. Rum, huh? You came prepared. Liz shrugged playfully. Can you have a luau without a little rum? Gionni chuckled. I suppose not. It'll definitely keep things interesting, that's for sure. Cara, Michelle, and Gionni led Liz into the backyard through the French doors of the living room that overlooked the deck. Wow, you guys really went all out. It looks amazing. Liz's eyes widened in admiration as she took in the sights. Cara smiled, pleased with the compliment. Thanks, we wanted it to feel like a real tropical getaway. Come on, Liz, let's go get a drink, Michelle says, taking Liz's hand. Michelle and Liz approached the makeshift drink station in the tent, examining the cocktail menu. The chalkboard had been hung nearby, displaying the various drink options. Michelle pointed to the menu, listing off the choices. We've got fruity margaritas, pineapple punch, lemon drop shots, Shirley Temples, coconut water cocktails, sex on the beach, or a virgin pina colada. Liz raised her eyebrows, eyeing the drink choices. That's quite a list to choose from. What are you going to have, Michelle? Michelle nodded in agreement, eyeing the drink station. A virgin pina colada, of course. Liz grinned, deciding on her drink. You know what? I might join you on that. It sounds refreshing and tropical. Just what we need on a night like this. We'll take 2 virgin pina coladas, please, Gionni. Gionni nodded, grabbing a blender from the station. Coming right up. As Gionni mixed their drinks, Liz leaned against the bar, her gaze drifting to the setting sun. This is the life, huh? Beautiful weather, good drinks, great company. Perfect luau evening. Michelle smiled warmly, appreciating the moment. You could say that again. It's nice to unwind and enjoy ourselves after all the planning and preparation. Just then, Gionni placed 2 icy tall glasses of virgin pina coladas in front of them, complete with tiny umbrellas resting on the rim of the glasses. Here you go, ladies. 2 virgin pina coladas, as requested. Cheers! Cara comes over to the girls as Gionni handed them their drinks. Is anyone interested in smoking the hookah later in the night? I realize that I have one, and I think it would be perfect for this party. Liz and Michelle exchanged glances, both intrigued by the suggestion. I'm definitely in. Hookah sounds like the perfect addition to this party. Michelle nodded, adding, Count me in too. I haven't had hookah in months. Cara chuckled, pleased with their response. Perfect. We'll set it up later on then. Great. Yeah, that definitely sounds better than smoking the rest of my cigarettes, Liz chuckled. I'm with you on that, Michelle said, sipping her drink. Cara laughed, enjoying the conversation. We can save your lungs for another day. Plus, a hookah is way cooler than cigarettes, don't you think? Liz nodded in agreement. Definitely. Smoking hookah has a certain class to it. Feels like an event in itself.